Yeah, because we're focusing on 23C today, which is the new version of the Oracle database that should be coming out later this year. I'm going to start with the safe harbor so that everybody knows that what we're talking about today is pre-production. It's not released yet, and you can't hold anything we say about the new release against us in case it may not be there, or the feature or functionality may not be there when it's actually released.
I did want to start with this slide because this is a core component of a lot of the high availability features that's in pluggable databases. And as everybody knows, in 23C, we must be pluggable database. And it defines how we do active data guard as well as, the refreshable pluggable databases implementations. And so pluggable databases was introduced in 12.1. The refreshable pluggable database was introduced in 12.2. And so a refreshable pluggable database is a read-only pluggable database, very much like your standard read-only standby database. When it is in the pluggable read-only state, archive logs are not applied. More so, by default, archive logs are not shipped to the refreshable pluggable site. And so in 18C, Oracle introduced the concept of a redo repository. It does incur the active data guard license, but now while you are in refreshable pluggable mode or read-only mode, archive logs are shipped to the redo repository. And so when a refreshable PDB has to refresh to get current, it has to shut down, be in mount mode, and apply archive logs. Without this feature, the PDB has to go query across the network and pull all the archive logs. But with this feature now, the redos or archive logs will be available locally on the machine, thus reducing significantly the amount of time for refresh. Can you go to the next slide, Monica? All right, so from a 23C perspective, we have quite a bit of high availability features, but a lot of them I want to focus in the pluggable database side, which is also data guard. And the first one I want to start with is the reconnect refreshable PDBs. And so a refreshable PDB cannot be open for read-write mode. And if it is ever open for read-write mode, it is not allowed to be a refreshable PDB. And so in 23C, Oracle gives us the same kind of functionality that's available in a snapshot standby. So a refreshable PDB will disconnect from the refreshable PDB process, and we can open that PDB in read-write mode. And from that perspective, we can do our testing, we can do any kind of data manipulation that we need to. And just like a snapshot standby, we can revert it back to a refreshable PDB. And so this is a 23C new feature. In the cloud, in the autonomous world, we have the concept of per PDB time zone, but that's going to be available now to on-premise customers. So the local time zone was available in an earlier feature at the PDB level, but now the sysdate queries prior to was set at the CDB level. Now we can set that now that's going to be available at the PDB level. So what that basically means is that for more of the legacy applications that couldn't do manipulation for like current date, current time and stuff like that. So this is to support those kind of applications. Also in 23C, we're going to have this concept of a hybrid read-only PDB. So what that basically means is that a PDB by default will have a common user, and a common user will be allowed to do maintenance operations. And so for example, patching. And so a read-only database can't be patched. But now with the hybrid read-only mode, all application users will be set as a read-only mode, but the common user can do maintenance operations. At the same time, we can set hybrid mode at the session level as well. And this is for customers who want more granularity. So a local PDB administrator can have maintenance capabilities, and the local PDB administrator will assign all the application users to have read-only access. In 21C, Oracle added the per PDB data guard capabilities. And this is really cool concept. Think about two CDBs. CDB1 with PDB1 will be the primary database, ship and redo logs to CDB2, and we'll have PDB1, which will be the standby. Now, the same CDB2 will have a primary database, and it will ship archive logs to CDB1. And so now CDB1 for PDB2 will be the standby. And so now we have, from a primary perspective, both CDB1 and CDB2 will be primary databases. And what they did on 23C is now extending that capability, and now we can have read-only per PDB standbys. Rich mentioned the Oracle RAC and Kubernetes and Podman. So Podman was added because Docker is now introducing license fees for their enterprise customers. And so from a Podman perspective, the feature functionality is almost identical. And so he also talked about rolling patching. And so now at a rack level and also at a single instance level, we can stand up a instance level of the database, and will require more memory. But now, from that perspective, we can do rolling patching or near zero time downtime patching. The last thing I want to talk about is the MRP, the monthly recommended patches. From a RU perspective, they will continue every quarter, but the release update, the RURs are going to go away, and it'll be replaced by the monthly recommended patches. And for every RU, Oracle will provide 6 MRPs. And this is only going to be available on Linux at first, but the hopes are that eventually be ported to other platforms.